Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the Sony, I would say the Sony headphones and the Sony cameras, quality shit. I've been buying Sony headphones since we was in high school, fam.
Yeah,
Like I,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like and they pretty, they're not expensive. They're not wild expensive. I mean, probably a good pair of headphones from Sony is probably like maybe like $50 to $100. I would say
Yeah,
now. Yeah, yeah.
I forget the model, but I remember the Sony joints in the studio. Very like a lot of people had them, yo.
Yeah, yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. That's for sure. So, all right, y'all. Yo, man, this is the first episode of I'm Taking 15. So we got D Alder, of course, I'm the host. But my man Aquaus. Aquaus, how far we go back?
We go back to high school, definitely. So we're talking at least 2000. I would say 2004 because I
2004.
transferred into Piscataway 2003.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So 2004. Damn. 2004. So you're talking over two decades, a little bit over two
Yeah,
decades.
definitely. Yep.
Time in, time in. You look good,
Yeah,
fam.
yeah,
You
yeah.
look good. You look good.
Thank
Um,
you. Likewise, man.
appreciate it, appreciate it. But yeah, fam, I appreciate you coming on this first iteration of this conversation that we having, for a couple of minutes. Let the people know who you are. What do you do? What are you passionate about, fam?
First off, I didn't know this was the first episode. So
Oh
thank
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
sharing that.
I'm very transparent, and I'm like, yo, I told you about it what yesterday, and I'm just like, yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm lining
Yesterday
up guests.
afternoon.
You,
Less
you're the first guest. You're the first
less than
guest.
24 hours ago, bro. Because I was on my way to get a
You,
haircut.
you are the first guest. You are the first
All
guest.
right.
So,
Appreciate that.
so
Well,
yeah,
to answer your question, we go back to high school and we really connected through a love for music.
yeah.
And I would I would start there. I've developed and had a passion for many things, architecture, wanted to be a construction worker when I was younger, engineering, design, music. Now I work in education. I'm in my ninth year as a elementary school educator.
Okay,
And that's
okay,
that's my
man,
focus right now is
man.
education. Yeah.
And you've been a big proponent of just education in general, just educating the people, just making sure like, man, I need to make sure people not only get the education, but as far as the development, right? So your development happened through other people's development, per se, you would say.
What do you mean by that? My
Your
development.
development as a person, your
Yeah.
development as a human pretty much evolved through other people's development, by you helping them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've always been one to want to assist people, right? Be that plug, be that connector. And I'm always curious and looking to e expound upon my knowledge and skill set. Just I've always been that way. And the more I learn, the more I can teach and give.
No, that's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up. So, what are you working on right now? What are you passionate about right now at this moment?
That's a great question. I'm on LinkedIn more than I've ever been before, I would say.
Okay. Okay.
And I am currently transitioning into educational leadership on paper, right? And I will be entering a master's program in September at Rutgers
Okay.
for educational administration and supervision. But I would say beyond that, just shifting the landscape of education and doing it in creative and innovative ways. I know we hear those words a lot, innovation, but I would say visionary, from a visionary standpoint, if I can open up a school tomorrow, I believe that all schools should be structured like children's museums, meaning
Mm.
we walk into a school building and we probably wouldn't even call it a school building. We would have some other experiential kind of name for it. But as soon as we step into that building, all of our senses are being engaged. So we're talking sonically with the music that's playing, visually, like think of walking into a hotel, the service, the hospitality, meet the
Yep.
museum, right?
Yep.
The interactive, engaging displays and models all centered around learning. So whatever the current curriculum looks like in schools, let's say we keep that for now, everything is just centered around that curriculum in a way that the environment allows that curriculum to come to life. So that's high level for me right now in regards to vision. And everything from there is just working backwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense, man. So having that mindset, having that, those goals, just being very goal orientated person as you are, what would you do to expand? If you had the opportunity to expand upon everything that you just said, or a lot of the things that you just said, if you had the resources to expand upon that, how would you expand?
Partnerships. So now we're talking about livelihood in general, right? Just from the very fundamental things that we need. So food, agriculture,
Mm,
housing,
mm,
economics,
mm,
uh, the way cities and communities are built. So infrastructure, real
mm.
estate. That's at like the broadest level. Is just sitting down and thinking about, as a human being, what do I need to survive? And what is the highest quality and level of that particular thing, right?
Mm.
So, how do we get the best foods, the most nutritious foods? How do we create the most nourishing, uplifting environments for our spirit, soul, body, right? Physical. I know you're into the physical thing right now, heavy.
Yes.
And yeah, beyond the school and what I just shared in regards to that vision, I would say just how we live and exist as human beings on a day-to-day basis.
Man, man, that's now that's some good stuff. That's some good
Yeah.
stuff. Only because it's just like, when you meet people on a surface level, they're just like, oh, okay, I would do this, but they don't get into the specifics. Like you just gave me some
Yeah.
real life specifics. You said infrastructure, food, just basic stuff that people need. Like just going outside into the world and just seeing people that don't even have a place to live, a place to hold their head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just basic stuff like that. So we as people need to evolve to a point where we are helping each other out on a more consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like sometimes we get caught up in, the mind mentality. Like, I need to do what I need to do for me and mines and not care
Yeah.
about anybody else. But you're saying like, nah, we need more people to come together so we can build this up and build this a little bit, better so we can all vibe on a similar frequency because it's not too many people that's on the same frequency, when it comes to that, right?
Yeah, definitely. We do need those core resources. Like I can only do so much right now if I am financially limited, right? Because now I
Right.
have to allocate my time and energy on finding a way to make money. So without having a 9 to 5, I can't really supply myself with the financial resources I need to venture out into a particular endeavor, you
Right.
know? Because now I'm
Right.
struggling to make ends meet. But once we have that safety net and we're comfortable and we know where that's coming from, we know how we're paying our bills, that's when we can start to get more creative and imaginative, right? So it does start with having that strong foundation. Without that, we'll just be running around in circles trying to make ends meet. So that's essential.
Nah, that's a good way of putting it. It is a crazy time, at the time of this, conversation, fam. Like, I don't know if you heard, uh-oh, guess my camera went out. Guess I gotta switch. I don't know if
Gotcha.
you heard, uh Oracle, who's one of the leading, tech companies out here, they literally just laid off 30,000 people with a 6 a.m. email.
Yeah,
6 a.m. email, right? So a lot of people said, man, this is wrong or whatever. But it's kind of like you and I have been conversations over the past 5, 6 years now,
yeah,
deep conversations about like where a lot of stuff is changing, where a lot of these things are gonna hit it, where a lot of these things are going as far as the infrastructure, as far as the finances, as far as just people being able to have these resources. But when something like this happens, this is impacting 30,000 not only people, but 30,000 families and stuff like that. And but it all goes to say that, fam, like we have to evolve. We have to evolve.
absolutely.
Like we have to
Yeah,
constantly find a way to just stretch our imagination and evolve. Because if we don't do that, then what? We get stuck in what? We get stuck in a loop, like what you just said. You know what I'm saying? You just constantly in that loop. So we have to find a way to take our ideas and stretch them out as far as we can, so we can make sugar out of nothing. So we
yeah.
can make, something prosperous out of something that was very minimal to begin with. So nah. That's definitely a way of looking at it as far as what you've been saying. Um, I know we're pressed for time, but I wanted to know where you are right now and where you are going in the next, 5, 6, 7, next decade or so. Do you feel that you are doing everything in your power right now to get to where you need to get to in the next several years?
I think intuitively and just innately,
Hmm.
people like myself may never really feel like they're doing everything in their power because we always feel like we could be doing more. What more
Doing
can
more,
I
right?
do?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
can I cut? Right. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at right now is just determining how to best allocate my time and energy. Right. And in regards to preparing for the future, we spoke about this like years ago, bro, is content. I think content is the great escape, right?
Content
Because
is the great escape.
yeah, content is a great escape because regardless of how comfortable we feel in our 9 to 5, unless we understand that we have to build something for the 5 to 9 and beyond, we will always be subject to that paycheck, right? And I say
Yeah.
content is a great escape. And Morgan DeBorn spoke about this recently, and a lot of people have been speaking about it. Is if we take our skill set from our 9 to 5, in my case, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator,
Right.
and really distill that down to what we can turn into content, videos, the things we do, for me, the lesson planning, the curriculum design, all of that, and just create content around it, that becomes our great escape because that is what leads to other opportunities outside of what we do in our 9 to 5. The speaking engagements, the consulting, the speaking on panels, etc. Things beyond our imagination, publishing a book just based off of the content and messaging we are sharing, thanks to our 9 to 5 and the skills and things we do there, but beyond the scope of our 9 to 5. Because now we're harnessing all of that information. It's like getting paid to learn. And now everything that we're learning, we're sharing through content on YouTube, IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever platform we're on. And that is another income revenue opportunity, right? So
Wow.
that's how I'm thinking right now is getting paid to learn through my job and then taking that knowledge and redistributing it via content.
Wow, man, that's amazing. We got 33 seconds left on the clock. What message do you have to the people outside of what you just said, fam?
I would say every day is an opportunity to make something happen, bro. That's
Every
it.
day is an opportunity to make something happen.
Every day is an opportunity to make something happen.
Love it. Love it. Where can people find you? We'll put your information in the description. Where can people find you? Where are you at? How can you be tracked down?
Easy. At Aquaus on most social platforms. AQUAUS on Instagram. At Aquarius Kelly on TikTok. Aquarius on LinkedIn. So Aquarius Kelly, AQUAUS, KELLEY. You pop that in, you'll find me.
Love it. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you for stopping in. You took this 15-minute break with me. And fam, much love, much support on all your endeavors moving forward.
Most definitely. Likewise, man. Always appreciate it. Great conversation.